I never thought I would hear those words from the woman I married. You're just not attractive to me anymore. She said it casually, as if it were some minor inconvenience, like complaining about the weather. But for me it was a dagger. Emma, my wife of 8 years, looked me in the eyes when she said it, and there wasn't a trace of hesitation. I laughed at first, because what else could I do? I thought she was joking, maybe testing me, maybe just frustrated about something else. But she doubled down. She told me I had let myself go. That I was too comfortable, too predictable. She said she needed excitement, and apparently, I wasn't it anymore. It crushed me. Not because I believed her words, but because she believed them enough to say them out loud. For weeks after, I lived in silence, carrying the weight of her rejection like a stone strapped to my chest. I kept replaying every memory, wondering where it had shifted. When did I stop being the man she once looked at with admiration? I tried to fix things. I hit the gym again, started dressing sharper, even surprised her with spontaneous date nights. But it never mattered. She brushed me off like I was a nuisance. She spent more and more time out with friends. And when I asked if she was seeing someone else, she didn't even deny it outright. She just smirked and said, "If you have to ask, maybe you already know the answer." I wanted to scream. I wanted to walk away right then. But part of me still hoped the woman I fell in love with was buried under the bitterness. So I stayed. I endured. Then something unexpected happened. Work had been good that year, better than I had let on. I had been saving quietly, not to show off, not for luxury, but because I had always dreamed of owning a particular car. A sleek, black coupe that reminded me of the freedom I once felt before responsibilities weighed me down. One day I decided, enough waiting. I signed the papers, and when I pulled into the driveway, the engine purring like a heartbeat, I felt something I hadn't in years: pride. Emma was at the window when I stepped out. And for the first time in months, maybe even years, I saw her expression change. Her eyes widened, her lips parted, and there it was, that look I had been starving for. Interest. She rushed outside, circling the car like a predator who had just spotted fresh prey. Her voice was different too, suddenly warm, playful. "Wow, I didn't know you had this in you. This is impressive." And in that moment, something inside me cracked. Because the man she said was no longer attractive had apparently become irresistible again. All because of a machine with 4 wheels and a glossy paint job. Her sudden shift was almost laughable. Just a week ago, she had told me I was dull, lifeless, not worth her attention. Now, she was draping her arm around me, asking if we should take the car for a spin together. I said yes, of course, because I wanted to see where this sudden affection would lead. We drove through the city that night, the headlights reflecting off storefronts, Emma leaning closer to me than she had in months. She laughed at my jokes again, touched my arm, even held my hand at the stoplight. To an outsider, it might have looked like a couple rediscovering their spark. But inside, all I felt was a cold, hollow ache. It wasn't me she was drawn to. It was the image of me. The car, the money, the illusion of status. It was like a switch in her mind. Suddenly, I wasn't the man who had grown boring. I was the man with power, with something to flaunt. At one point she even said, "Now this is attractive. This is what I've been waiting for." She didn't realize how her words cut deeper than any insult she had ever thrown at me. Because in that single sentence, she told me everything I needed to know about her love. It was conditional. When we pulled into the driveway, she kissed me. Really kissed me, for the first time in months. My body responded, but my heart stayed silent. I knew the truth now. She wasn't kissing me. She was kissing the car, the lifestyle she thought it represented, the image she wanted to show her friends. The following days only confirmed it. She bragged about me constantly, to her sister, to her friends, to anyone who would listen. Not about who I was, not about my loyalty, or the nights I held her when she cried, or the sacrifices I made to keep our home afloat. No. She bragged about the car. About how her husband had finally stepped up. About how she was the woman with the man who could provide something shiny, something enviable. Every word made me sick. Because I could see it so clearly now. Emma didn't want a husband. She wanted a trophy. And as long as I could shine, she'd keep me polished and displayed. But the second I dulled, I was disposable. That night, as she slept beside me, I stared at the ceiling and thought about the years I had wasted trying to prove my worth to her. All the times I had gone out of my way to show love, loyalty, consistency, things that should have been priceless. She never noticed. She never cared. But the moment I parked a luxury car in the driveway, she came crawling back, hungry for a taste of status. It hit me then. The car hadn't changed me. It had revealed her. The next weekend, Emma wanted to host a dinner party. She insisted on inviting her friends, saying she couldn't wait to show off how well we were doing. I watched her flit around the house, carefully planning every detail, making sure the car was parked front and center in the driveway where everyone could see it. That night, the living room filled with laughter, wine glasses clinking, and her voice carrying above the rest. She retold the story of how I surprised her with the car, exaggerating it into some grand gesture of devotion. "See," she said proudly to her friends, her hand resting on my shoulder. "This is the kind of husband every woman deserves." Her friends nodded, impressed. They looked at me as if I had just set the gold standard for what a husband should be. And Emma beamed, basking in the admiration. But I sat there quietly, sipping my drink, letting the charade play out. Then, when the night was nearly over and the wine had made everyone comfortable, I stood up. "Since Emma has been bragging about me all evening," I said, my voice calm but steady, "I think it's only fair I tell the full story." The room went silent. Emma's smile faltered. I told them everything. How she had looked me in the eye weeks ago and said I was no longer attractive to her. How she dismissed my loyalty, my care, my love as worthless. How the only thing that brought her running back was a car, a symbol of money and status. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't dramatize. I just laid the truth bare, word for word. Her friends stared, wide-eyed, their admiration for her evaporating with each sentence. Emma tried to laugh it off, tried to interrupt, but I didn't stop. When I finished, I simply said, "A wife who values a car over her husband doesn't have a husband at all. She has a driver." The silence that followed was deafening. Her friends left shortly after, awkward and uncomfortable. Emma stood in the kitchen, her face pale, her hands trembling. "Why would you humiliate me like that?" she whispered. I looked at her with a clarity I hadn't felt in years. "No, Emma. You humiliated yourself. I just gave you the mirror." The next morning, I packed a bag. I didn't take much, just enough to start over. She begged me to stay, swore she would change, that she loved me. But I knew better. Love that disappears when the wallet is light isn't love. It's a transaction. And I was done being currency. I left the car in the driveway. Let her keep it. After all, it was the only thing she truly cared about. But me? I walked away free. For the first time in years, I felt lighter. Because sometimes, the most valuable thing a man can own isn't a car, or a house, or a symbol of success. It's his self-respect. And mine was finally back in my hands.